always messing up your builds in Fortnite. You could be free building and you mess with an edit. You could be in a box and someone's took your wall and you mess up the edit and die. Well, that's what I'm here to teach you today, how to stay consistent with all your edits. Right before we get into it, a massive announcement. Destiny Jesus has just released his new fighting masterclass, where you can get almost 200 videos of fighting coaching from top players and top content creators, such as DJ himself, Reese Hub, Bolts, Reet, and other pro players such as Teeny and Muzz. And an even bigger announcement, I will soon be joining that roster of players as I do my very own video on the masterclass. So if you want to check out the link in the description and it'll take you right over to the website. My video on the masterclass is incoming, so wait for it and I'll see you there. Now that the ad reads out of the way for the exciting new fighting masterclass, let's head into the video. So the first thing, the quite obvious thing I'd recommend for consistent edits in Fortnite is free building. Free building is the most important thing in my opinion. It's going to help you get the reps in of every single type of edit, your double edits, your triple edits, every edit in between. It's going to help you really get the consistency down in these edits so you don't mess up in game. Now, I normally free build for about half an hour a day and that has been doing me very good, but Coyote specifically can free build for 4 hours at a time. I did this at one point and my hand was hurting at the end of it. So let me know what you think and the longest time you free built in the comment section. Free building can be that little bit boring, so if you do get bored on free building, I'd recommend going into Spotify and just kind of listening to some music, listening to some songs while you free build, because it is a little bit boring just building over and over again. And make sure you are trying a variety of different moves, like triple edits to the side, triple edits that way, side jumps to the side, like high walls. Like try a variety of moves just so you get the feeling of all these different types of moves. I'm gonna even try to pretend you're fighting an opponent and just really just have fun over here in the free building. If you're lacking a free build map, check out this one on the screen. It is the one I'm in at the moment. It's 0 delay and 1 ping at the moment, and it is off 1 tile, so you've got a lot of space to work with. The second thing I want to talk about is your sensitivity. Now, the sensitivity can have a massive impact on your building and your editing potential. Okay, so let me put it this way. If you have a really, really high sensitivity, if you're trying to get if you're at the back of the box and you're trying to hit a nice shot here, let's say you're even a tile away and you're doing this edit. If you have a super high sensitivity, you're going to be all like this, messing it up on controller especially, because controller is obviously a lot harder to control than keyboard. If I'm on controller and I try to do the edit, it is ridiculously hard to do it if I have a really high sensitivity. It's just a mess. It's just so much harder. You have to have such tiny movements to even do it correctly. And this is why you need to make sure your sensitivity is perfect. Because if I have a too low sensitivity and I'm up against the wall, it's going to be super hard to do this edit right here. I'm going to struggle to mess it up a little bit. I'm going to be doing this. It's going to be hard. So what you want to do is just make sure you don't. That is not the issue. Still kind of cracked on controller. Having a perfect sense will allow you to have the ability to do the long edits like this edit, and also when you get stuck behind a ramp or something, you can easily do these edits as well. The next thing I want to talk about is your crosshair placement. Now, crosshair placement is very important for the free builds, as you'd imagine, and very important for any kind of edit, because where you put your crosshair is going to determine if you fail or mess up the edit. If you do bad crosshair placement, you might mess it up and hit a different tile that you wanted to. Or if you have super good crosshair placement, even too good crosshair placement, you might end up missing that one tile you really need. So you want to make sure you have a healthy balance of not moving it too much, but also being able to hit all the tiles you want to hit, because if you start missing them, that's when you start messing up edits. And normally when you mess up edits, you're in a position like this, where someone's got your wall and you're trying to edit out the side, and if you're trying to get too good crosshair placement, you're messing up the tiles and you're just going to die. Now, for crosshair placement, I would recommend turning your reticle off. So going into your settings, going to here, and turning your reticle off. It's super easy to do. You can either turn it off in the HUD options, it's the very first option at the top, or you can go into Crosshair X and just add a crosshair on top of your normal crosshair. So I've got the Canada crosshair at the moment. You can see it's a little blue one, and some people prefer to use the Canada crosshair and also don't use the reticle, so they just have the little blue X on the screen. I like seeing the gun outline, so I don't do that. The idea is you now see the little blue X, you can now see exactly where your crosshair is, so you can now try to work on your crosshair placement and just overall where your crosshair is, what it's doing on the screen, all of that type of stuff, because it is super important, honestly. You might notice on like ramp edits, for example, that your crosshair placement is super bad, so that might be something you need to work on. Next, I want to mention caffeine and sugar. Now, these two things, especially caffeine, can really affect your edit consistency. Having a lot of caffeine, and especially even a lot of sugar, will really start your mouse shaking when you're playing. And having a shaky mouse when you're playing, you can see the difference in these edits. If I have a very shaky hand, that it just looks a little bit off. I'm much more likely to fail the edit than if I had like a consistent hand. I haven't got any sugar in my system, and I definitely have not got any caffeine in my system because I don't drink caffeine. So aside from that little lag spike right there, my edits are actually very consistent at the moment. And finally, I want to remind you that it is all consistency. When I first started on keyboard 2 seasons ago, I did not have any consistency with my edits. I was literally building, and then I'd mess up literally the 5th edit or so. But now, it's a lot better. Let's just say that. I still mess up though, everyone messes up, and unless you're like Peterbot, even Peterbot messes up sometimes. But the aim is just to keep it consistent, because the more you do it, the easier it will be. If you find yourself in a certain position that you've messed up an edit 4 or 5 times in one day, it's going to be a lot harder to mess up. You might mess it up once or twice, or maybe even 3 times. And then the next day when you do it again, you freeboard again, you're going to find yourself mess it up less, and it's going to be a lot better for you. I'm going to remind you again, the Fighting Masterclass, use code JKC for 17% off the class. It's going to be super useful to you. Check it out, link in the description. Also, videos on the screen here, all bangers, and they're all going to help you out immensely. So I'll see you in the next one. Have a great day.